for Minister Wike to insult uniformed military officers. No, this is too much. In fact, we require and request an unreserved, immediate apology from Minister Wike to the military officers. In fact, to the whole armed forces as a whole. Go to America, go to Canada, you will see how the civilians and even the politicians respect the military and tell them, thank you very much for your service. Anytime they are cited anywhere, you hear them say, thank you very much for your service. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think it's time for you to call your Wike into place, because everybody has been watching him destroy things, making people homeless, and even making people jobless. There's some people in Abuja that we saw on news, and man, they just destroy all the things they've been working for 20 years without even any apology or any remorseful thinking to say these people will become homeless or jobless. Yet, he's doing things, and now he has gotten to the height of it. The height of it is that you insult the military officers that have trained some parts of some of us to be disciplined, to be obedient, and even to be respectful in anything we do in life. We are being professionals because some of us are trained by military officers. And yet, no, this is the last straw. We require that an unreserved apology is given unto the officers or even the armed forces in general from Minister Wike. Go on.
Do you know that the FCDA had sent security personnel to go harass the engineer working on the site before? It was in reaction to that the army now sent people there. So that analogy was wrong. The FCD at first used force, and it's in reaction to that they brought another level of force. So you can say, oh, violation of laws and everything, but it is in reaction to that. So both of them on that score, they are wrong. The second score that is wrong, please, with due respect, how many court orders has Wike himself respected of people that he goes ahead, that they have a court paper, and they have an initial agreement, he will turn their pack around and take it? Didn't we talk about the story of those two young girls here? Did I challenge the senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Falono, about it? How many has he respected? See, let's not deceive ourselves. Wike has acted like a god over the land in Abuja, and he forgets that you're not going to be FCT minister forever. Before you, El Rufai, he did his own. He still left in the end. Why yo?
Meaning?
Please, be gently. Do it
evil as well.
Do it slowly.
All right.
The third point is, you now got there. You claim that you have called before. You had called the man's superior. Why was that the show? It's because you wanted to intimidate him. But the man refused to be cowed. Yerima refused to be cowed. And please, those that are trying to skew narrative, Yerima didn't insult the minister.
All right.
All he said is, to this, how can you call somebody a fool and you expect him not to talk? The next thing, you are a boy. Just like one minister was calling me a boy the other day, small boy. The next thing, I was already after I finished school before. Is that the bone of contention?
All right.
Please, like I said, the Adiza Bala Usman's index should be released to the public so that we even have a ministerial code and screening.
All right.
You can't just have all sorts.
From this, you can see that Wike lack logic. Because what he's talking, even a 6-year-old, what concern when I graduated from university, you are still in primary school. What brought that argument? What brought that argument? You can see a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I cannot imagine this in Zimbabwe or Equatorial Guinea. This is a shame. A very, very big shame. A very, very big shame that a minister of the Federal Republic should be talking like a tout. Understand? There's no logic in his argument. Nothing. I wonder how his children will be feeling seeing their father. Look, even the soldier is far more composed than him. The soldier is far more composed than him. Understand? Even if we should think of who should resort to violence, it is the soldier. But you can see he was very, very composed. And the wicked, no, it's unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate. And what just get out. A minister. Well, that's Tinubu did a disservice to Nigeria by appointing Wike as a minister. He is disgracing us. And this video has gone viral everywhere in the world.
Very true.
Because it is what is dominating social media as we speak. And they will now be saying, look at what a minister in Nigeria is saying.
You know, one of the things I was going to ask you was, as you know, even as an ordinary Nigerian, we all know that you're not supposed to insult an army officer or an officer at all in a uniform. And then when we now have a minister, you know, insult and then, you know, get this low, he get this low with an officer. And of course, reactions are coming in. Former Minister of Aviation and Governance expert Osita Chidoka has called on Nyesom Wike to apologize, you know, to the law enforcement agency. And of course, he said ministers must exercise authority through proper channels. You know, he would have done this thing the right way, but he went through that route, and then we saw how he behaved. You know, but you know, and then these are the same people who will tell you who are like the custodians of our law.
I tell be law abiding.
Do you understand? They will tell you be law abiding, and then he's resorting to having to insult.
When you lack knowledge, the next two is violence. The next two is insult. Understand me? When there's nothing upstairs, or when the upstairs is scattered, the next thing is insult. Understand? And that's what you are seeing there. You can see the soldier is far more composed. Understand? So if you see, it tells you how the people who are appointed as ministers in the country. Even some governors, apart from the scripts that people write for them that they read, engage them one-on-one. You'll be wondering, so this is a governor governing more than 5 million people, the way they think. The way they think. So for me, President Tinubu should tell him to apologize to Nigerians and to apologize to the military, because this is a show of shame. This is a show of shame by the minister. See how other people are just watching.
Okay.
Just pointing in the sky like a village woman. It's very, very unfortunate.
Okay. So you want to tell me now that you could not do anything other than to make a call? So for the first time, you knew how it felt now to be intimidated, to be harassed. As they harass people, they go up and down, they collect their land. Even that women, when you take their green land, that be waiting there, they call them. They've been begging and crying for months. If not, then just now you for shout, give them. We can see what's the person. We can see small soldier, big squeeze. Enough in push them. Enough in do anything. Police coordinates. I don't see una cure. I don't see what una they fear. Small boy puts you for your toes. You dey make call. You dey call for help. You dey call Calvary. But if you want us to PDP governors, you go address them as if all of them now your ass boys. Anything they do without you is not a void. If you want to, you go call press conference for your parlor. You go sit down. CBC go ask question. You go answer. The one you not like, you go walk out. So now small boy, I rob you for grant. So I'm not supporting intimidation. No. If the project they intimidate you, I'm not supporting more. Say I don't like you. No, besides support bad though. But I'm asking so you can be this humble.
Let's go back to how we got to that level. That particular land was allocated to a company in 2007, Santos Estate Limited, for park and recreation. Let me say this again. Allocated in 2007 for park and recreation. The company did not do anything on the land because that place is a parkway, is a walkway, is a road corridor. You don't build there. Then in 2022, the company wrote to the FCTA, the minister, oh, I want approval from you to convert the purpose to commercial. From park to build park. You know what park is and recreation, not permanent structures. Probably in anticipation of the minister's approval for conversion, the man decided to partition the land, a land allocated to him for park and recreation. He now partitioned the land and sold to people, including the former chief of naval staff. And that is why I want to say here that the former chief of naval staff was scammed. He was scammed. And he has realized that he was scammed. Instead of him to now come out and seek help, he resorted to use military might. Now, in 2022, the minister of FCT declined that request, did not grant the request for change of land use made by that company. That was where it ended. But he had already sold the land to people, probably giving them impression that the land use will change. Wike was not the minister then.
In 2022,
2022, Wike was not the minister. Now, after selling land allocated to you for park and recreation, for people to build house, who should the former chief of naval staff go and hold? The person who scammed him or the government? He chose not to hold the person who scammed him, the company who scammed him. Now again, that particular portion has now been redesignated for the purpose of, if you know Abuja very well, you know how Babushi is. That is where you have Ministry of Works, Environment. That portion of the land, that parkway, is for public buildings and corporate buildings, not residential. Meaning that you cannot build residential house there. That is one. So as of today, Vice Admiral Gambo does not have a document, a title document, showing that he owns the land. He does not own the land. Now, assuming not conceding that he has title documents and he owns the land, before you begin development of a land, there are processes you must pass through. One of such processes is to have a building plan. Building plan showing what you want to put on the land. And you take your building plan to the development control. See, you take your building plan to development control. The question Nigerians should ask Vice Admiral Gambo is, did he take his building plan on that land to development control, and the development control approve the building plan? So this is the letter.
Welcome back to the channel. So I think Wike just came to site and he was supposed to have a simple inspection on that site that day recently, but unfortunately for him, before he came there, he must have gotten information that soldiers to be there. But we all know Wike, who is being known for his fiery attitude, and with the whole thing, he started calling this guy a foolish person. And the soldier was so calm, he don't say he's not a foolish person, as you can all see in the video. So let's be real on this thing. It's not every day you see a government minister exchanging words with an army officer. But the shocking part in all these things is how the whole thing just escalated quickly. According to eyewitnesses and the video we all saw, they say that Wike accused the soldier of trying to intimidate him, but that's where the irony kicks in. because a lot of Nigerians are talking about it, saying that for a man who doesn't respect the law, and Nigerians say that Wike himself doesn't even act exactly like someone that can be easily intimidated, and in fact he's more known for being the one who intimidates others. Whether as a governor or now as a minister, we all know that Wike has always carried himself like a man who believes power gives him the final say, even when it shouldn't. From his issues with PDP, you definitely know that. And this latest clash just shows how power can easily get to people's heads in Nigeria. Though sad but true, because some of our leaders, they actually forget that respect is supposed to go both ways. Even if Wike felt disrespected by the soldier, the military officer, I feel there are better ways to handle the situation. You can just do something, but calling a trained military officer foolish in public, I feel is completely unnecessary and unprofessional. Now, let's remember that this military officer represents the Nigerian Army, and that's an institution that sacrificed so much for this country. They might not always get it right, yes, but I feel that they still deserve basic respect, especially from government officials that know better. What even makes the story more interesting is how Nigerians are reacting to the whole thing. They are just divided. A lot of people are saying that yes, Wike deserves this, Wike, and some people seems to be supporting him because they understand what he's saying because of what Nigerian Army has turned into. And you can't blame anybody. So because now, for years, he has been known for his own bold mouth. He talks stuff, he acts stuff, and everybody knows that he loves to show authority. But there's a difference between being confident and being arrogant. Telling a soldier he's foolish simply because he was doing his duty crosses that line. Even if the army officer might have spoken out of turn, two wrongs can never make a right, and that's it. Wike could have simply called his superior or just reported the issue through proper channels. But instead, we all know, he just turned, started shouting and making it look like he was the victim. Saying the military officer was trying to intimidate him doesn't really hold water, because Wike has always been one of the most powerful and vocal politicians in Nigeria. If anyone in that scene was intimidating, it surely wasn't the soldier holding his post. It was the minister that showed up with a convoy of security men and aides. I'm not trying to side anybody here now, because on the other hand, from what we are saying was being heard, why will you even bring soldiers to the land to come and secure your land? I feel this thing, if you have your paper when he comes, you show him and all that, but keeping military on the land is also bad. But that's for another day. We're talking about Wike today. So at the end of the day, this whole clash just shows how power and pride can easily collide in Nigeria's political space. We keep saying leaders should lead by example, but moments like this actually prove how far we still are from that dream. I think respect should be mutual. It doesn't matter if you wear agbada or uniform. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. Maybe it's time for people like Wike to remember that leadership is not just about shouting the loudest or showing who's the boss, but it's about humility, discipline, and respect. Because when the people meant to serve us start fighting those that are meant to protect us, what message are we really sending to the rest of the country? What do you think about this, and on whose side are you? Well, let's talk about this in the comment section. And if this is the first time joining my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
That for Wike, before Wike got to that land,
he must have gotten information that soldiers were at that land. You see, sometimes as hero where you be, not be every fight. Sometimes you fight. You see, there are times you go look some kind war, you vet away your face, we strategize. You see what has happened today that is trending everywhere? Trust me, whether you like it or not, you get some kind people who not feel look wicked for eye before. They don't get small muscle. Most especially if wicked did not enter that land. Some people go say, so this man not be I am that I am. So sometimes it better make people assume say you dey fear than make people see say you dey fear. If Wike had not gone there, people for the say abeg you, if to say Wike go there, forget it. But say he go there, if they talk, that guy stands. Face am. I feel that Wike would have saved himself this embarrassment and keep his crown on his head. What has happened to Wike today that is all over the news? For me, it has reduced more than 30% of the respect that people generally have for him. Knowing that there are human beings in this life that can stop Wike, for me, it would have avoided going to that place totally. That's what I'm talking about.